Hey everyone, welcome to Storytime with Uncle Reddit. Today we're doing r/I don't work here lady, where irate customers confuse other customers for employees. I'm Uncle Reddit, and have I got a story for you. Confuse a Karen. I popped into a local shop yesterday for bread and milk, and a few other bits. It's fairly cold, so I'm in my outdoor coat, hat and gloves, and look nothing like sales staff. I was searching for bread sauce. What's bread sauce? Maybe one of you guys can fill me in. When I hear a throat being cleared noisily nearby and a very brusque, impatient lady's voice saying, "Excuse me," I think to myself, it's the dreaded Karen, and I recognize that voice. This one I'm pretty sure I've met before. I know that saying I don't work here won't work, but this gives me an idea. A little experiment, if you will. So I turn to her and say, the manager, just the person I wanted to see. She looks at me with a priceless expression of confusion, mouth silently working as she tried to think of a response, and says relatively meekly, "But I don't work here." I reply to her, "Oh, don't you? Oh, well, I do apologize. So what do you want?" Nothing." And she walks away looking like the walls of her mind just collapsed. I'm using this one again. That's perfect. I need to use that too. Although nobody really mistakes me for being an employee. The long beard, the weird street clothes, most people just don't. But it would be fun. Male Karen got the scare of his life. I work as IT. See, we've included some IT into this story. I work as IT. I've been working as IT for 15 years, so dealing with people who don't want the answer you just gave them is something I have to deal with every single day. So it's a Friday, about 7 p.m. I'm tired. I think on a Friday night, we're all tired, no matter what you work on. So I went to the local Home Depot. I'm getting the stuff I need, and I heard someone yelling. Being the curious dude I am, I've always been and will be, I take a peek around the corner. I see a dude around in his 40s, well dressed. I'm pretty sure his clothes and shoes cost more than I get in a monthly salary. He had a shopping cart half full of stuff, yelling at this poor kid. This dude can't be over 25. Skinny. I'm betting he's 20 or 21. The first thing I think, an a-hole abusing his power as a customer and yelling at an employee. So I continue walking towards them, checking on the items close to them, and then I heard what's going on. The male Karen who's yelling at this poor kid says, "I can't believe how bad you and your coworkers are at doing your job. I asked for where X item is and I was told to go to Hall Y. Then I go to Hall Y and the item's not there. How stupid can you be?" Then I heard the kid say, "I'm sorry, sir, I can help you look for X item, no problem." Then the male Karen says, "I don't care about the item X anymore. I want to talk to the supervisor and..." I step in. The male Karen and the kid stay quiet as I'm really tall. Keep in mind, in Costa Rica, not a lot of people are as tall as I am. The average is being about 6'1" or 5'10". I'm not sure about those numbers, guys, but that's what he says. Around that. I'm 6'4", 220 pounds. I shave my head, full beard. I'm always the tallest in the room. And I don't have a really friendly face. I have to change my tone of voice because it's really deep. I don't like to use my real voice all the time because it intimidates people. I step in, face the kid and tell him, "Don't worry, kid, you're okay." I turn around and face the male Karen. He looks at me completely scared. The blood came right out of his face. Tried to step back and I grabbed his shopping cart and said, "You're not going anywhere, dude." Funny. He could just let go of his shopping cart and go, but he didn't. I'm guessing he was so scared he forgot he could open his hand. So look at him for a few seconds with the meanest face I can think of, grabbed the biggest hammer out of one of the shelves and said, "Look, dude, I heard everything. The poor kid doesn't have the fault. His coworker gave the wrong instructions, and I honestly don't think he did. I've been shopping in the same store for over a decade, and anytime I ask for where an item is, I've always been given the right directions. So one of two things are going to happen tonight. One is that you're going to apologize to the kid for being an a-hole and leave. Two, you and I, well, we're going to go to the parking lot." The dude started shaking and went completely quiet. I turn around and tell the kid, "Go ahead and call security." So a supervisor and security came. The kid and I tell them what happened. I got the kid's back and he got mine. Our stories matched, even the hammer part. Nothing was left out of the picture. The security guy asked me if I grabbed a hammer and asked the other guy to go to the parking lot. And I said, yes. If he doesn't apologize to the kid, we are going to the parking lot. The male Karen is speechless. Security escorts the male Karen out. went to his car, and left. The kid is kind of scared, but I gave him a bottle of water and changed my tone of voice and tell him, "The dude almost crapped his pants. Did you see the look on his face? Ha ha ha." The kid started laughing. I started laughing. The supervisor started laughing, even the security guy. They all thanked me for my help. They weren't really happy about the hammer/parking lot stuff I said, but I continued doing my shopping and never saw the dude again. A couple of months went by and I go to the store again. The kid came to me and told me he never saw the mail carrying ever again. I love being tall. So I never know how to take these stories, guys. I know a lot of people like to, bluster a little bit, maybe embellish stories and puff out their chest and make things seem a little more dramatic than they were, but I'm going to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. It could be true. I've seen people like that. I've gotten that way on a couple occasions myself. Most of the time it goes well for me. Every once in a while it doesn't, but yeah, we'll give this one to the guy. Good on OP for sticking up for the little guy. Lazy workers. My work provided a fleece and polo shirt which looked remarkably like a well-known supermarket. If you wore it, you didn't have to wear a tie, so I was good with that. Never been fond of ties. I, being remarkably obtuse, didn't notice the similarity. So I'm standing by the tills at the end of one of the aisles, waiting for my wife to come back from somewhere or other. I forget where. There are 5 customers in a queue. It's pretty busy, but there are a few unopened tills, including the one right next to where I'm standing. "Maybe someone should open a till," says a remarkably rotund individual. He's staring at me. Me, thinking that's a good idea and assuming he's trying to start a conversation, I say, "That is a good idea. They probably should." And I just stood there. He starts getting passive-aggressive with a witty, "I hate it when lazy staff see something that should be done and ignore it." Well, I agree with that. I'm all for proactive behavior, and we just had one dude at my work who was the most annoying and work-shy individual you ever did meet. He never volunteered information. You had to prize it out of him. So I replied, "Ugh, those kind of people are so annoying." That was funny. And just stood there some more. He got a bit red in the face, but he was doing the archetypal Brit thing where he refuses to address the problem he sees right in front of him directly. He huffs and puffs and shakes his head, and a glimmer of understanding penetrates my thick fog of ignorance. Me. "You know I don't work here, right?" He gets all wide-eyed. "Oh, sorry, mate." Me. "No worries, it's the fleece, isn't it?" "Looks kinda similar." Me. "Yeah, it really does." We part on friendly enough terms and a renewed understanding of how easy it is to play an unwitting part in an unfolding drama. I just think it was funny because it seemed almost like you were doing it on purpose. If I was the other guy, that's the way it would have looked with that fleece and everything and the things you were saying. Yeah, don't you just hate when that happens? I'd love to have been a little birdie on the wall watching that. "I don't know where your rental is. I'm just enjoying my coffee." While my husband collects "I don't work here" incidents like a politician collecting bribes, I only have 3 on my own. This is one of them. This happened in the spring of 2018. My mother had traveled abroad to visit one of her relatives, so when she was flying back, I went to get her. We live about 3 hours away from the airport. Because our oldest was recovering from a stomach bug, hubby decided to stay home with the kids and I would get my mother and bring her home. My mother's flight was scheduled to arrive at 13:15, but when I got there I found out they had a 2-hour delay and I had to wait. I thought, alright, I'll enjoy a coffee while I wait, and notified my husband. The weather was good, low 20s Celsius, with no clouds, and decided to have my coffee on the outside patio of a coffee shop. I grabbed my tablet, and because the airport is a bit windy, a yellow windbreaker, and apparently that was the problem. I was reading my book on my tablet, enjoying my coffee, wearing my yellow windbreaker, when I heard a, "Hey you!" I didn't think it was directed at me and continued reading. Then I feel someone looming above me, and a, "I'm talking to you." I looked up to see a man looking down at me. The following exchange happened. Cast. Me equals me. Duh. Chad equals entitled a-hole. Karen equals entitled a-hole's wife. Police officer 1 and police officer 2. Me. Yes. Chad. Where is my rental? Thinking that he was asking where the rental companies had desks, I replied that they were on the other side of the arrivals area. Chad. Okay, be a good employee and bring it here. Me. I will certainly not do that. I don't work for the rentals. Chad. Yes you are, now go get it. Me. No. The thing goes back and forth like we're 4-year-olds when Karen inserts herself in the conversation. Karen. Honey, what's taking so long? Chad to Karen. This employee here doesn't want to bring our rental. Karen comes and grabs my windbreaker's lapel and puts her face uncomfortably close to mine. Karen. Listen, you little bee. Me and my husband are very good clients. I don't care if you're on your break, but if you don't bring the car in 3 minutes, we'll get you fired. Me, extremely ticked at that point. Listen, B, take your paws off me or we'll have trouble. Karen. Oh, you threatening me? Oh, you're so getting fired. At that point, she swings her arm, hitting the coffee, spilling it on the table, missing the tablet, and on me. Me, standing up. F off, B, go find your own rental. Karen, at that point, slapped me, while her husband was screaming obscenities. I flipped and slapped her back, which initiated a fight. When the initial argument began, a couple of bystanders had taken notice. The shouting had attracted a crowd, and when the fight started, somebody called the cops. 2 officers came and separated us. Police Officer 1. What happened? Chad. The employee refused to help us and then attacked my wife. Me. I don't work here, you dip, and your wife attacked me. PO2. Madam, language please. Karen. I want to press charges. Police Officer 1. Okay, all of you are coming with us. We ended up on the airport police station. One officer went to get the manager of the rental company and the other reviewed the tapes with his boss. The rental company manager verified I wasn't an employee. They wear white shirts and black ties and a lanyard with their access ID. I was wearing a Chulu, I don't know, some kind of t-shirt and jeans. The cameras verified the attack. I pressed charges and left to get my mother. Another one. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's some truth to some of this. I've seen some pretty crazy people out there in the world, but it just seems like so many people talk a lot online about fighting and how tough they are, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Military recruiter almost asked me out because he mistook me, a 16-year-old girl, for a teacher. This was a couple years ago, and I've since graduated and turned 18, so if that guy's reading this, feel free to DM me. Lol. Anyways, for context, our school has military recruiters show up from time to time, and they'll have a table set up in the commons under the stairs around lunchtime so that they can talk to kids. They're always super chill, so I made it a point to talk to them whenever they came around. They also sometimes visited classes and gave little presentations. This guy had visited my choir class early in the morning that day. I had been sitting among the other students and had even asked him a couple questions about recruitment. Fast forward an hour or two, and I had run an errand for my teacher and was walking back to my classroom. To get back to my class faster, I cut through the commons. Lunch was starting soon, so the recruiter was just hanging out by the table. When he saw me, he immediately hopped up and came around to the front of the table. Recruiter, in a very flirty tone of voice. Hey, you're a teacher, right? Me. No, I'm a sophomore. That's it. That was the whole conversation. The second I said those words, the poor guy turned beet red and didn't say another word. He just walked away. I had no idea how to respond, so I just left him there and went back to class. Oh my. So at least he's respectable enough that he didn't go any further with that. That's gotta be embarrassing though. Just glad I could help. So years ago, I happened to be in a mall, meandering through a Walden Books one weekend, looking for some Sudoku books or something, most likely. I was wearing shorts and sandals, nothing that made it seem like I was an employee there. And yet, Lady 1. Excuse me, can you help us with something? We're looking for a cookbook. Me, fat foodie that I am. Sure, what are you looking for? Lady 2. We're trying to remember the author, but we're having trouble. Okay, do you know the kind of food the author cooks? Ladies 1 and 2. No. Lady 1. French, maybe? She always sounded like she was drunk. Me, scratching my head. Julia Child? Lady 1. Yes, that's the one, thank you. She starts looking for a name tag and realizes I don't have one. Oh, you don't work here, do you? Me. No, but I do like books. Just glad I could help. Well, that was pretty wholesome. Pretty decent exchange. They weren't rude about it or anything. She was helpful, and it's good. People being people, getting along as part of the same human race. If we could all only do that. Lady snapped at me to get off my phone while I was picking up decorations in a different store while on the phone with my boss. Okay, so this happened a few years ago at my first job. I worked at a games arcade in a large shopping center, and I loved it. Started there when I was 15 and worked there till I was 19. I ended up getting all my school friends jobs there, and I was very close with the boss. It was like a little family. Now, we had these black and gray polo staff shirts, and we all wore lanyards with the keys on it for convenience. Keep this in mind. Anyway, I think it was like one of the last years I worked there, and it was getting around mid-October, so my boss gave me some money and asked me to go buy some decorations from the dollar shop down a few levels and spook the store up a little bit. As someone who loves Halloween and decorating and spooky stuff, I was thrilled to do this. Unfortunately, when it comes to spending someone else's money, I'm super paranoid about getting the right thing. So I get down to the store and spend like 10 minutes umming and ahhing about what to get. So I decided to call my boss and just run him through what I was thinking of getting for the store. And as I'm explaining this to him, this middle-aged lady comes up to me, clearly not very impressed. Excuse me, I need some help here. Surely staff shouldn't be on their phone out on the store floor in front of customers. I turned around, took the phone down from my ear and said, "Oh, sorry, but I don't work here." And holy F, it was the funniest thing ever. I reckon she messed her pants right there and then. After using that tone to me and then realizing I didn't work there. It was brilliant. She apologized and then walked off afterwards, and my boss heard the whole thing. And I got back to the store and we all had a good cackle about it. To be fair though, I was in a work uniform and had a lanyard, so I can understand her confusion. And I would have felt bad for her if she hadn't been such a bee about it. Yeah, I just don't understand the attitude, man. Even if you think somebody's wrong, so many people make assumptions about situations and other people and things like that. Don't assume. Ask questions. Hey, do you work here? That's a good opener, and that would give you all the answers you need most of the time right off the bat. Ugh. Amazing. Thanks for joining me today, guys. If you enjoyed this content, do me a favor, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and click that little bell icon so that you don't miss the fat guy with the beard telling you stories. See ya!